Breaking news, and exciting news at that. Ladies and gentlemen, Teofimo Lopez, the takeover, the two-division lineal champion, will be facing Shakur Stevenson, the three-division world champion. Shakur Stevenson is going to be daring to be great, going to campaign in his fourth division as he goes up to 140-pound division to challenge Teofimo Lopez. Y'all already know Teofimo Lopez took it to his X account and tweeted, "I've already accepted the fight. I'll see you in the beginning of the year." Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a great matchup. Two technical fighters. Teofimo Lopez, I believe, I've been saying since the beginning that he's the captain of the generation, the commander-in-chief, the guy of this generation that actually dared to be great when he beat Richard Comey, then beat Vasily Lomachenko. Yeah, he took a hiccup versus George Campbell, so it could have gone either way. But then he stepped up to the 140-pound division and beat Josh Taylor, the guy that was undisputed, undefeated. And if it wasn't for the politics of the sport of boxing, you already know with the WBC franchise and the lightweight division, and Josh Taylor vacated his belt in 140, the whole world should be recognizing Teofimo Lopez as the first two-division undisputed world champion. But the politics of the sport of boxing, but we all know what it is. This is going to be a great matchup. This is going to be a great matchup. You already know both fighters, Olympians, both fighters, prestige amateur background. As we all know, Teofimo Lopez won the Olympic trials, and in 100 years of the Olympics was the only fighter not to join the Olympic team after winning the USA Olympic trials. As we all know, Shakur Stevenson won a silver medalist representing USA. Teofimo Lopez was representing Honduras, but should have been representing USA. So that's why Teofimo Lopez always had a chip on his shoulder. It goes back to the amateur. I still don't think that he hasn't had the respect that he truly deserves in the pros. But you know what, man? That chip on his shoulder is what makes him and drives him to be great. This is going to be an incredible matchup. Of course, people wanted to see Teofimo Lopez versus Jerome Boots Ennis, right? After he performed versus after he performed versus Arnold Barbosa, and Boots performed after Stanionis, and it was supposed to be like a mini tournament, right? It was supposed to be Devin Haney after Jose Ramirez to fight Ryan Garcia in the rematch, and Ryan Garcia, if he would have been victorious versus Rolly, then fight Devin Haney on a rematch, and then it was supposed to be Teofimo Lopez versus Jerome Boots Ennis, but Jerome Boots Ennis felt that he needed to go to the 154-pound division. He couldn't make the weight, and Teofimo Lopez was subjected to fight Devin Haney. Then Devin Haney was on the table, but he was supposed to get $11 million, and that was his deal. The deal of his term with Turkey Al Sheikh, a 3-fight deal, and he was supposed to get $11 million in his second fight, but they cut $3 million, and they was about to give him $8 million to face Devin the Dream Haney. I know a lot of people wanted to see that fight because we've been talking about it for such a long time. But in all reality, Devin Haney didn't have that great momentum after his performance versus Jose Ramirez, in which he won, but it was very underwhelming, right? But I believe that Teofimo Lopez fighting Shakur Stevenson and beating Shakur Stevenson at this stage where they at right now, because Shakur Stevenson does have great momentum, beating William Zepeda, and is regarded one of the best IQs in the sport of boxing, probably the best defense in the sport of boxing. I think the momentum that Teo and Shakur has will make a better fight, and I think we'll get more props if Teofimo Lopez beats Shakur. If Shakur beats Teofimo Lopez, he will get massive credit and dare to be great. You know what I'm saying? So I like great fights and mega fights when two of the fighters have great momentum going into the fight. You know what I'm saying? Just like Lomachenko had great momentum going to the Teofimo Lopez fight, and Teo knocking out Richard Comey, that makes it a good fight. Just like Bud had great momentum going to the Earl Spence fight, knocking out Dave Avanesian, and Earl Spence going to the Bud Crawford fight after stopping Ugas. That's what we like. We like great momentum going into a big fight. And I think that both of these guys highly technical. But one thing about Teofimo Lopez, he has freakish speed, power, twitch muscle, and I think this fight could be almost like James Toney versus Roy Jones Jr. And I think that Teofimo Lopez has that Roy Jones Jr. element. Like, both of these fighters are good, but the natural ability of Teofimo Lopez is going to get him over the hump. As we all see, that fight with James Toney and Roy Jones Jr. was tit for tat. But the natural ability, the speed and power, there's something that you just can't teach when it comes to Teofimo Lopez. Shakur Stevenson, an extreme talent, but I believe that Teofimo Lopez is a special talent. And I think that specialty the speed, the power, the athleticism, the footwork is gonna get him over the hump versus Shakur Stevenson. Let me know who you got in that fight. But this is a great fight. I can't wait.